called up a restaurant and an AI receptionist answered our call.
Give it 5 years, every single business is going to be using a system like that.
2 years. Between small and medium-sized businesses, around 60% of their calls get missed. Clearflow AI, we just build AI voice receptionists. Doesn't matter how good your product or service is, if you have no one that wants to buy it, you just sell them the dream outcome. That's what you focus on. Then the other 80% of your times, learn how to sell. That's how you scale.
First of all, thanks for coming on the podcast. Like I said, I've been seeing you all over social media, like on my TikTok and Instagram and stuff. Thought I would reach out. You are kind of like, you're a second guest, but first guest of this new initiative. Me and Colton are kind of rolling out where we're speaking with young entrepreneurs like us who are maybe earlier in their journey, but are actively pursuing something. Like you obviously have your business and you're doing social media as well. So you're an excellent first kind of candidate for this new initiative. So thanks for coming on. And the first question I kind of wanted to ask or understand about you is, how did you get into entrepreneurship? Like, was there any influence in your life or any experiences early on? Have you always felt like an entrepreneur? You think you can kind of just walk us through your early experiences, I guess, and like paint the picture up to where you're at now?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, thanks for having me on the podcast. Glad to be one of the new candidates in your guys' new initiative.
Yeah.
So are you guys familiar with the book Rich Dad Poor Dad? I'm sure you are.
Of course. Yeah.
Of course, classic, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like every young guy at some point has read this book or at least been exposed to it. So I was fortunate enough to have been exposed to it around 18 years old. So literally just before I graduated high school. And this was actually this almost came to me at the perfect time because it was kind of a pivotal moment where I was deciding, like, do I want to go to college? Most of my friends were going to university, actually University of Victoria.
Okay.
And I decided, I read this book and I decided I don't want to go to university. I don't think this is the right move for me. I know there's a different way or a different path I could take. So through that, luckily, my older brother at the time, he was, he was working in a sales job for a company, so doing door-to-door sales.
Right.
And he basically he recruited me. And so right out of high school, I joined that company. And for any young people who are listening to this, like if you're debating going to college or whatever, get a sales job before you go into college and invest tens of thousands of dollars into an education. Go into sales, and I guarantee you will learn everything you need to learn as far as business. Working 6 months in like a high volume sales job like door to door or cold calling, because the communication skills, the business skills you learn are invaluable. So luckily, fortunately enough, I was able to join a good company. They had pretty good training. And so that was kind of my first sort of stepping stone into entrepreneurship. So fast forward, I worked that job for almost 4 years, which is for most people, the churn rate for door to door is like 1 month. Like most people don't last a month, let alone 4 years.
Yeah.
So
you're a trooper.
I was definitely a survivor. I wouldn't say I was surviving. Like I was thriving. I don't want to be a survivor. I want to be a winner. So, but yeah, it was obviously you go through ups and downs, right? Like door to door is one of the hardest jobs, right? You're constantly
100%.
getting doors slammed in your face, rejection. Yeah. But the sort of skills and the knowledge that you gain through that is very, very, very valuable. So then fast forward after that, I knew up to about a year ago, so this was like 2024, almost exactly a year ago,
yeah.
I wanted to make a change because I knew I was like, okay, I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. I'm not going to be doing door to door. I want to get into some sort of position where I'm running a business. I knew I wanted to start a business. So I was hearing things about AI. I was hearing obviously it was kind of becoming more popular, more talked about at that time.
100%.
And the way that I actually started doing what I was doing is like my friends and I were actually on a vacation in Miami, and we were, yeah, I know, what out of all places, like where do 5 young guys go on vacation to go to Miami? So,
yeah, I wonder.
just to go act like we're rich, but yeah. Anyway,
Of
so
course.
we were there and we were kind of talking about, hey, like, have you guys, like, we are talking about AI. It was becoming more and more talked about.
Yeah.
And that night, that same day, we called up a restaurant to make a reservation, and an AI receptionist answered our call.
Here you go.
So we started talking to him. We were like, wait a sec, is this a human or is this an AI? Like, we couldn't tell at first. So as we started to talk to it more, we were like, holy crap, this sounds like really good. Like, we were actually impressed. And it took our details, it took our reservation, and we are like, okay, guys, we need to go, like, we need to figure this out. Like,
Yeah.
this is crazy. Like, this is happening. Like, up until then, it was just kind of theory. But then we actually experienced it firsthand, and we're like, okay, this is real. People are
Yeah.
actually, businesses are doing this. Like, we need to get in on this. So that's how it started. And then since then, we've just been building, and that's how I kind of entered the whole space I'm in now.
Cool. Interesting. Colton, if I may, I'd like to just like start by recapping so many things there.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
going to be a great conversation. First things first, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I told you should come to the event in January. Robert Kiyosaki's going to be there. He has
All
a
right,
booth at our,
I'm booking my
yeah,
ticket right now.
he has a
There
booth
we
at
go.
our event. He gets on the main stage. Like, you'll literally be able to go shake his hand. I don't know if you've been in contact with him, Colton, if that was you or not, but yeah, he has like a personal relationship with our boss. So I was kind
Oh,
of chuckling when you mentioned him. That's such an influential book for so many like young people and kind of figuring out their life. And so yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And then two, super interesting about your story, how you kind of got into entrepreneurship. Crazy, you were knocking doors for 4 years. That is a long time to do a job like that, and it makes sense why. Seeing on your social media, which we'll get into later, you're posting videos of you knocking doors, selling something. It's like clearly you've got the experience and the confidence to do it, which is super cool. And then three, getting into your business a little bit. Cool, you identified something that someone was doing. Like, obviously you're from Calgary, you were in Miami, like across into a different country on the other side, right? And they're doing
yeah.
that, and you kind of identified something that is needed. And like, quite frankly, give it 5 years, every single business on the planet is going to be using a system like that, realistically. Like, why pay someone to stand there and answer the phone when you have AI to do it? And I'm sure you see that
I'm gonna say
opportunity.
give it 2 years.
Two
2 years
years, there we
maybe.
go. That's
Yeah.
that's the take, right? So yeah, I appreciate that you found that need, and it's without a doubt going to happen. It's undeniable. Like, we know AI is going to disrupt so many industries, and it's undeniable that stuff like that is going to be like one of the first industries to go. I don't know if you want to jump off that, Colton, if you have anything to add.
Well, I was gonna say, Liam, I really resonate with your story too because when I first left high school, I went into construction, not door to door, but the first business book I read was Rich Dad Poor Dad, which showed me and kind of I didn't want to be in construction the rest of my life, and I wanted to get rich, and there's other ways to do that. So yeah, for a lot of young men, that's the way I think they get into it. Now my brother's reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I'm like praying he's gonna gain the same mindset as well.
I saw
So I
Luke last
really
night, actually,
did you?
at the gym. Yeah, sorry, side note, I saw his brother at the gym last night. Go on.
Um, but I was wondering, could you walk us through Clearflow AI and what it actually does? Obviously, you talked about how you saw a business opportunity here down in Miami, but then how did you implement your own business with Clearflow AI and start scaling that?
Yeah, yeah. So Clearflow AI, on a very simple level, what we do is we just build AI voice receptionists for small, medium-sized businesses. So right now, the main problem that we solve is like between small to medium-sized businesses, there's a study done that around 60% of their calls get missed,
Oh wow.
which is a huge problem because if they miss a call, there's a high likelihood that that customer who calls them will just call up the next business down the block, right?
Yes.
So that's a direct correlation to lost revenue for a company. So having an AI voice receptionist that's working 24/7, 365, works on weekends,
Hmm.
doesn't take sick days, doesn't take holidays, and always answers a call, so therefore no leads go missed. That's the main problem that we solve.
Right.
Um, so how we kind of started out doing that was obviously after that, vacation in Miami, we got back and I got straight to work. I was like, okay, how do I do this?
Yeah.
So there was a long period of time where I would say like I was just learning because I have like no like programming, no coding. I had
Yeah.
nothing. Like I had no
Yeah.
experience leading up to that. So I had to kind of start from scratch and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of beating my head against the wall, just like, how do I how do I connect like a simple little,
Yeah.
automation together? Like it's so frivolous. Looking back now, I'm like, this is so like frivolous what I was trying to learn, but at the time I had no technical experience. So
Yeah.
um so I started out doing the grunt work myself, like just kind of learning how to build
Cool.
these AI receptionists, and then now fast forward to I can kind of I'll go more into depth later, but fast forward to where I'm at now, I've been able to kind of delegate some of that work. So, I have a guy that can like build the receptionist for me, and then I'm also looking at actually in the process of getting guys to do all like the appointment setting for me as well.
Yeah.
So I'll just kind of be the main like sales guy, like closing the calls, closing the deals, and then delegating the work after that. So.
That makes
But
sense.
yeah, that's kind of how we started.
That's cool. Couple things I'm just kind of thinking here. Cool to see how you're scaling. One, I know that's kind of at the end of what you said, but how you're kind of already scaling it. We're going to probably dive into that later, but now that you've kind of brought it up already, we might as well. The fact that you're like hiring appointment setters is super cool. Good for you. Obviously, you're scaling quick, and me and Colton talk a lot about different CEOs and like levels of success, how like some people, you have your average person, and then you have like your above average person who maybe makes a couple hundred grand, but they're working for a job. And then you have like the $1 million CEO, and the difference between the $1 million and the $10 million CEO versus the $100 million CEO is like the level that they're able to scale their business and kind of like outsource, not necessarily outsource, but like for you example, you're hiring appointment setters. Like some people struggle to let go of that control, and the fact that you're already doing that or like early on probably goes to show how you are going to be able to scale the business. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more on that, maybe like
Yeah.
what are you planning on, how are you planning on scaling it and stuff like that, and obviously you're outsourcing people to kind of build the reception bots. I know this is kind of two questions, but I'm also kind of curious, like, do you guys have like one system that you sell, or do you have this guy building out different things and you're kind of expanding product lines or service lines, and then also you're outsourcing some work as well?
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely want to talk about this because if there's anyone watching this that is interested in getting into the AI space, especially even doesn't have to be, necessarily building AI voice
Hmm.
receptionists, but just AI automations in general for businesses. This is a mistake that I made early on, which looking back, I would avoid now. Excuse me, which is like spending too much time trying to do everything yourself. Now, basically, how it is right now is like there's so many tools out there where you can kind of build these AI agents, these
Hmm.
AI bots. You can get so caught up in the weeds of like trying to do everything yourself, but then when you build these sort of workflows and these automations, they're great, but then you have no one to sell it to, right?
Right.
So you're
Yeah.
coming across this problem where like everyone wants to know how to build these agents, but then once they have like good agents, they don't have any customers, right?
Yeah.
Which so it doesn't matter how good your product or service is if you have no one that wants to buy it, then you don't have a business. So what I now preach and what I now tell other people to do is learn the basics. Spend like you don't need more than like a couple weeks just like at least
Hmm.
just learning. Watch there's free information all over the internet. Learn how the automations work, learn how to do like the basics,
Yeah.
and then start looking at outsourcing it. So go start calling up or cold approaching businesses, start selling,
Hmm.
and then once you have someone who's interested, bro, there's these websites called Upwork, Fiverr, and there's
Yeah,
these
dude.
freaking guys in Pakistan who are smarter than you, and you can pay them way less
Yeah.
than you would have to pay some guy in North America, and they'll whip up these agents in like a week or
Yeah.
way faster than you can do it, and you're just the middleman at that point. You're just that's how most businesses are just they're just middlemen, right?
Yeah.
They buy something and then for cheap and then they sell it for a higher price. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're just essentially selling an AI agent for a higher price, paying someone less to do the work for you, and then you're just collecting the money in between. So that's how you scale. And then taking that to the sales approach side as well. Instead of at first, I highly recommend you do a lot of obviously cold calling and a lot of in-person approaching,
Yeah.
going door to door. But eventually, you want to delegate that kind of that grunt work, that work that takes a lot of time, which is like making 100 phone calls a day. You can outsource people on commission only appointment setters.
Yeah.
Again, there's places you can find them. Like go to onlinejobs.ph, like go to Upwork, you can just post a job,
Yeah.
commission only appointment setter. You only pay them when they set an appointment and you
Right.
close that deal, then you pay them out. And then when you close
Wow.
that deal, you pay out your developer, and so the cash is always flowing. So that's
Yeah.
how you have to start thinking about it. You can't be doing everything yourself, the sales, the fulfillment, the building of the actual agent, or else you're just gonna you can never scale that because you're only limited on your so many hours in the day. So
Yeah,
that
100%.
yeah.
I love that you referenced using Fiverr and like Upwork and stuff like that. Like I've used Fiverr before. It's crazy when you compare, and yeah, it's just the nature of, Canada versus, other countries and stuff, and the currencies and everything and wherever you outsource to. But like I've paid guys a couple $100 to build me websites, and it's funny because now you can pay an AI website to make you a website in 2 minutes. But
Yeah.
even a few years ago now, like when those kind of AI websites for building websites didn't exist, I paid someone like $200 and they made me like a 5-page fully functional website that I spent like 3 weeks trying to build, and like getting really pissed off because the text wasn't showing up in the right spot. And then like you look locally and someone's charging you $5,000 to build that website. It's just absolutely wild, the difference when you outsource to places like this. And like,
Yeah.
in all due respect to them, like you said as well, they're literally smarter than you. They know how to build AI agents better than you do. You could spend a month. Like these guys have spent 2 years. They're like very smart individuals. It's just the nature of where they live and the interaction between us and them that they get paid 10% of what someone here would.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Manjeet from Pakistan is way
Yeah.
smarter than I am. He's gonna
Yeah.
he's gonna build this AI thing better than I am. So I'm gonna
Faster and
trust
better,
him.
cheaper,
Yeah,
100%.
faster, better, cheaper. And to be honest, like if you pay him like $1,000 USD, let's say you sell the agent for 5,000, you pay him $1,000 USD. You know how much $1,000 is in Pakistan?
Yeah. Yeah,
This
he's the
guy's
best
living,
friend.
he's living large. Like he's gonna love you. He's gonna be like, dude, I'll do anything for you.
Yeah.
Like that's like a year's salary for them. So it's a win-win for everyone, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Colton, you have any thoughts on that?
No, I just wanted to ask, so you mentioned price point of like 5,000, cost 1,000. Does it vary depending on how difficult the AI automation is going to be and for what specific business it's for, or do you have a generic price point that you're going to sell the AI for every business?
It varies because we're still like an agency style service, right? We're more of a like custom sort of white glove service. We don't have sort of what I mean. There's in the voice. I'm just going to speak to the voice AI industry right now. There's the SaaS. There's two kind of, I guess, major routes, right? So there's companies that build like a SaaS product where you can kind of onboard the customers can onboard themselves, kind of
Right.
create like a simple voice AI agent. They can connect it to like a few different things like their Google Calendar or like and it's pretty straightforward. Even if you're not like very technical, if you're just a business owner, you could probably set one up. You could probably like figure it out yourself. But I mean, that's really you're kind of limited to just that. Then there's other SaaS companies that kind of tailor more towards developers. So
Hmm.
they built out a developer platform for developers to actually build more comprehensive agents. So there's that route, and then there's the agency route, which is what we do, and we're more of like I said, white glove sort of custom service. So, I mean, you with a business, I mean, there's it varies so widely about how their systems are set up. Let's say they have let's say they have a phone line. It's a landline. Some businesses have it's directly to their cell phone. Some of them have 4 different departments that they need transfers to. I
Right.
mean, it could vary so widely. They have different software stacks, different tech stacks. So the one thing doesn't talk to the other. How does the AI integrate with their, their current CRM and then update this? So there's a million different things that need to be done.
Right.
So that's where the agency style model is more tailored towards like those types of businesses. So we kind of will come in and our main sort of core offering is the AI receptionist, the AI voice agent. And then so we start with that, and then we kind of like branch out from there. We go, okay, so when the AI receives the call, what do you want it to do after? Do you want it to update this CRM with the customer info and then trigger another workflow to create
Right.
like an automated report or an automated estimate for that customer, etc. Right? Like it can kind of you can kind of start to get really crazy with what you can do. So that's what we kind of focus on.
And with that, Liam, do you find it difficult sometimes when, first off, you sell, say, a dentist on a receptionist? Do you find it difficult on asking them what exactly you wanted to do, or do you already have an idea on how you're going to solve their problem for them, or how does that conversation take place?
Yeah,
What's
that's so the hardest part is when they don't even know what problems they have,
yeah.
obviously.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like when it comes down to you just have to really dumb it down and simplify it. Like 90% of these people don't know anything about they they think ChatGPT is all there is to AI. Like
Right.
ChatGPT is literally just is just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Yeah.
Just that's
Literally.
just a simple chatbot. There's so much more that AI can do. So you can't start getting into like all these sort of technical things with you really just have to sell the outcome, sell and that like, so for them, it's like, okay, like what's kind of your dream outcome? And this is actually from Alex Ramosi, but like sell the dream outcome, right? So like, okay, you have your receptionists, they have to like manually input this data every time a customer calls. And then, you're getting X amount of calls over the weekend when you guys aren't open. All those are potential leads that go somewhere else. Okay, cool. I figured out your problem on a very basic level, and then you just really simplify. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure that you never miss a call again. We're gonna make sure that all your data is not manual data entry anymore. Blah 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 blah. You don't get into the technicals about how it's gonna be done. You just sell them the dream outcome, and then that's what that's what you focus on. So
Right. That makes a lot of sense for sure. I have a couple things. One, moving forward, I want to dive into a little bit about your social media, but first, you mentioned Alex Hermosi, which is cool. I've watched a couple of your door-to-door videos you post on TikTok. Is there like one like sales influence that you watch on YouTube, or anyone like me and Colton watch a lot of Jeremy Miner. We love
yeah,
him.
I was about to say
I,
Jeremy
I've
Miner.
I've
Yeah,
listened to like
he's
150 Jeremy Miner podcast. I actually just moved it. I have this black book somewhere in my closet. I know Colton has the NEPQ book. Is he?
black
Yeah.
book right here,
Yeah,
man.
literally. I had that
Check
on
it
my
out.
desk up to like a week ago.
Everyone who's not in sales, anyone who's not in sales right now or has no sales experience, start with this guy. Okay, there's
Yeah.
a million sales gurus. Sorry to interrupt you, but there's a million
Oh
sales
yeah,
gurus out there.
take it.
Yeah.
They're all going to teach a different style. Like Jordan Belfort, straight line persuasion. Grant Cardone, I don't even know what style he sells, but he's very just like,
Let's just
push, like
yeah,
boom, just go for the close, close, close. But
little old school
really,
things.
what exactly? So this is actually a really good topic, which is sales. Okay, so right now, okay. Well, actually, I want to back up a second. When it comes to the AI aspect, um, I want people to realize, especially if you're interested in starting an AI,
Hmm.
spend 20% of your time learning about the actual AI itself, how it works, how the automations work, how they, what things they can do, what technical things. Then the other 80% of your times, learn how to sell. Because really all it comes down to, if you're going to be successful, is can you communicate, how your product is actually going to help a business, right? And that
Yeah.
all comes down to selling. So you have to learn how to sell. That's the only skill that's going to actually matter long term is sales. So yeah, that's what I would just mention on that. When it comes to like sales gurus, or I'm
Yeah.
not going to call them gurus, but like sales people that teach how to sell, there's a bunch of people on the internet. I would definitely recommend starting with Jeremy Miner because this guy, the way that he teaches, like
Yeah.
the NEPQ model, which stands for Neuro Emotional Persuasion Questioning, it's a very modern style of selling.
Yeah.
Most prospects these days, they're very used to being sold to. They pick up on patterns, right? It's not like the 1950s anymore where it's like no one's. The 1950s was like people weren't used to being sold to as much, right? It was kind
Yeah.
of a new thing. Like teaching sales was like a new. Sales itself was like a career that was just emerging. Like up until then, there was no such thing as a sales career,
Yeah.
right? So now prospects are very much so like like they're very much too prone to like having their guard up, being their sales resistance is a lot higher
Yeah.
because they're used to getting called all the time, selling them selling them a cell phone or a cell phone plan or like whatever it is, life insurance all the time. So people are
Yeah.
used to being sold to. What this guy teaches, Jeremy Miner, is how to get past that sales resistance, how to lower the prospect's guard and actually like get onto a level with them where they're giving you real answers to your questions and not just surface level answers. So highly recommend taking that style of approach when it comes to selling.
I
1000.
really like him. Oh, sorry.
No, you go for it. I know we're gonna piggyback off each other on this one.
Yeah. I really like that, Liam, because yeah, Tyler and I, we are Jeremy Miner advocates. Like he is the
Yeah.
only salesperson I will ever listen to because he also simplifies the sales process. And it's kind of funny nowadays. Yeah, everyone's used to being sold. On social media, there's ads popping up all the time, YouTube, whatever. When you go to hockey games, you're always being sold a product, and Jeremy just makes this process so simple. I don't know, he's just I mean, I won't pay 7 grand for his course, but I'll read all his free material and all his YouTube. Anything to piggyback on that, Tyler?
Yeah, he has so many free resources as well. And you know what? I'm sure if you did his training and like I don't know if he does in-person training or if it's all virtual or what, but like and I'm sure it would be worth it. But like the amount of free value he has like hundreds of YouTube videos. I don't know if he's still doing the podcast, I'll be honest. I listened to literally 100 episodes straight in 2023 for like 2 months straight when I was working construction. All day, every day. I listened to his podcast and then the book, and then I bought the black book 2 months ago, read that. I started working through his course that came with the black book because there was a deal. If you pay for the black book, you get the course. I'm not sure when you got
I
that.
did this, dude. Same thing. I got
Okay,
the same.
yeah, so
The
there you
portal,
go.
yeah, the portal
Yeah,
with
yeah,
all the modules,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So started going through that. And it's so true because like both you said, you're literally being sold to 24/7 today. And to have someone like Jeremy Miner, like if you even just watch the YouTube videos, you could learn how to sell from him. That's all I did originally, just the podcast and watch his videos and just studied it, wrote notes and practiced it. You can learn how to sell in like a new way because quite frankly, the old school way it's so different. It doesn't work. People's sales resistance are this high when they wake up in the morning, right?
Yeah.
The first thing they do when they open their phone, the first notification's an email marketing campaign. And so, yeah, using Jeremy Miner, it's just such a different style, but it is so effective. We literally like die for Jeremy Miner. This episode should be sponsored by him. I'm going to have to send him an email
Right.
because they're promoting the shit out of him.
He's not gonna let you hit, bro.
Yeah.
No, but I agree, man. Like Jeremy Miner, he's really solid. And I don't know if you guys know who Matt Ryder is, Matthew Ryder.
Matthew Ryder. No.
So he was the CEO of Seventh Level.
Okay.
So this guy was like Jeremy Miner's right hand man. Like this guy's
Right.
like a weapon when it comes to sales. He's actually an Aussie as well, Australian guy.
Interesting.
But he has a lot of content on YouTube, and his like I guess his website, his course that he sells is like, well, I don't know if it's the name of his course, but his thing is like fuckthegurus.com because there's a lot of gurus that are now repurposing Jeremy Miner's kind of content, like
Yeah.
that sort of NEPQ
Yeah.
style of selling, and they're selling it for like $5,000 to $7,000 for these coaching
Right.
programs. So he's like, no, fuck that. Like this should be available for everyone for like easily accessible. So his courses on YouTube itself are like, $50 a month. You can
Right.
subscribe and you get access to all of his training. And he's this guy, like I said, he was he used to be the CEO of Seventh Level, so he knows his shit. He knows what he's talking about. So
Yeah.
I would definitely, if you're looking, if you've watched the Jeremy Miner's content, all of his free content, but you actually want to like get to that next level, you want to get more training and stuff,
Yeah.
I would recommend paying the $50 a month versus $7,000. It might be from the guy. It's the guy who
Yeah.
actually like everyone learned from itself. So
Yeah, you might
if
as well
anyone's
just go
watching
that
that,
route. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be
100%.
fair, like I think it's the $7,000 is totally worth its value. I just can't afford that, especially when someone was pitching me 2 years ago. So I was 19. I just don't have that kind of cash to throw into the course.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Like, and most 19-year-olds probably don't have just $7,000 laying around, so
Yeah.
to invest in that. So yeah, $50 a month though, a lot more easily accessible. So I'd
Yeah,
recommend that.
interesting. Well, I appreciate the notes on Jeremy Miner. We obviously love him clearly. We've probably talked about him on a couple podcasts already, and anybody we ask. But on the note of kind of social media and stuff, obviously Jeremy Miner's all over YouTube, podcast, short form, see him all the time. Let's talk about you a little bit with your short form. That's how I came across you. You were just showing up on my TikTok For You page. Love that you were knocking doors, and it's funny actually on this note. I knew Jeremy Miner was an influence for you because the video I watched, how you entered the room like talking to that receptionist was so
Yeah,
Jeremy
yeah.
Miner-esque. I seriously, and I said it to Colton a few days ago. I'm like, I know that he has learned some stuff from Jeremy Miner because I just immediately recognized it, but it works. So that's funny. But anyways, on that note, what are you kind of doing with your social media? Obviously, you're super active right now and you're growing. How do you kind of see that developing long term? Do you want to grow an enormous following, or is it just something you're kind of doing as a passion right now? Like, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, so we were talking about before this podcast, but it's like I've started posting on social media about probably like 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because I realized I was like, okay, I'm starting in this entrepreneurial journey. I'm like doing things that are pretty interesting. Like I feel like people would want to see this. And
Mm-hmm.
I had like other people out kind of like recommend. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start documenting what I'm doing. Because I think like there's a lot of value in that. And so originally, what got me to actually start posting was just to kind of document and almost hold myself accountable as well.
Yeah,
You
I
know, it's
love it.
almost like a way to like hold. It's like, okay, I have to go out today and knock doors. I have to go
Yeah.
make sales because I want to make content to post, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like a snowball effect. But that's originally what got me kind of doing it. And I guess my long term goal now is just to kind of build up the personal brand because in 2025, you can remain anonymous. If that's your thing, you
Mm-hmm.
want to remain anonymous, you don't want to have a digital footprint, I understand. And that was actually one of my biggest objections to not posting content for a while,
Yeah.
is to kind of not put myself out there. But in 2025, it's the fastest vehicle to get like grow. You know, like if you want to grow your business, you want to grow your personal brand, it can
Mm-hmm.
open so many doors for you that you otherwise wouldn't have that opportunity. I mean, I have people. I'm even now connected with a bunch of other business owners. Now I'm in like a private group with
Right.
other people who are in the AI space who are like killing it. All because I was posting on social media. I got matched. I connected with a few other guys,
Yeah.
hopped on like one of their podcasts, and and now I'm like in that group, and I'm getting all this extra knowledge that I otherwise wouldn't have had, right? So it's a very good vehicle to put like fast track your growth. Now, if anyone is out there and was like, well, I don't know what to post, like I don't have anything interesting. It's like, well, I heard there's this other kind of guru on the internet, and he essentially sells a course on how to start a coaching program or how to sell a course.
Yeah.
So his offer, his ticket, like his high ticket offer, it's $3,000, and he teaches people how to, monetize their audience and actually sell like a coaching program and a course. And what's very interesting is that he's got people in his program that are doing like things that you wouldn't expect and selling courses on things you wouldn't expect, such as like a guy who's actually from Kelowna. Actually,
Mm.
he's like makes signs for realtors. He like
I've seen
creates
that guy.
signs, and he is essentially like built up viewership, and is now monetizing that. And there's
Yeah.
another guy that was a very niche thing, like selling undeveloped land to real estate developers. They were doing like they were very like not they're kind of had like 400 followers. They started making content and posting consistently, and then they started like their course or whatever, and now they're making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month just from their course. So there's a lot of opportunity in that space. I'm not planning to like sell a course in the near like maybe in the near future I might think consider it, but I think there it just opens up that opportunity where you can start making different revenue streams from social media. So I think it's a great idea. If anyone's like considering doing it, you should probably just start.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that, Liam. And Tyler beat me to the punch on this, but he was always talking about, even before we got into business, about how building a personal brand is so important.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we hopped on the content creation journey. Is it once we started creating content or even posting more, our opportunities opened up so much to now we got these current jobs we had. And it was just posting and documenting our journey, what we're learning, what we're doing, and where we want to go. And people love to see that. You don't have to have a value proposition, but content is the best way to grow your platform and show people what you're doing. I have a friend who's in construction. He has a fence business on the side, and I'm like, you should be posting content because
Yeah.
you're going to gain so many more followers, and then
Hmm.
they're going to refer you or whatever it is. But he could grow that business to a couple $1,000s a month on the side of his normal job just from content and getting his name out there. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. Like Colton said, 100%. That's been like one of the biggest things for us changing careers. Like I think I was telling you before, Liam, Colton changed careers before me. That was what, I don't know if it was January this year or something, Colton, but earlier this year, I was a little bit later. I'd obviously been wanting to change careers for the last 6 years. But I really made that like decision in April, kind of off the back of a weird injury at work. And everything else that was going on. And that's all to say, I started posting on LinkedIn. I was like, okay, I'm going to come into this industry with Colton. I'm going to start posting on LinkedIn, writing about the market and just showing people that I'm smart and I know what I'm doing beyond, despite the fact that I don't have a resume relevant to this industry. I'm a construction guy, but I'm actually smart and I know a lot about business and like the capital markets where we work. And so I started posting about that. That scaled into the newsletter I started doing. And then it all just snowballed into being on like every single platform now, starting a podcast, doing short form, trying to do like at least a video every day. I think it's been 2 months and I've got almost 100 videos up. So like I'm above the average of one a day. For a while, I was doing 3 a day on TikTok and Instagram, which was wild. And just like you said, it's opening up so many opportunities. And like the three of us, we're all so early in our journey doing content along with everything else we're doing. But I know for a fact it's already opening up like tons of opportunities. Like that's, I mean, Colton got these jobs we're working for now. Like I've been approached to do kind of like a sponsored video brand deal, kind of like talking about a stock. And so it's just cool to see how quickly it can scale and why everybody needs to get on social media and start talking about whatever you want to do in life. Even if you just want to talk about football, people are making millions of dollars talking about football betting on TikTok. Like it's endless.
Yeah. Dude, it's so true. Like I have a friend actually who's a commercial real estate agent down in the Lower Mainland, and we were talking on the phone, and he was and I was like I was basically like trying to sell him on the idea of like, hey man, like you should just start posting about your day in the life. Like people would be interested in seeing like a young guy fresh out of college, starting his career in becoming like a commercial real estate agent. There's not many people probably posting that niche of content out there, right? So like you could probably grow up a following and that could just open so many doors for you. So I was like really trying to convince him because this is when I just had started posting as well, and I was like, dude, I get it. Listen, I was where you were. I was there like a couple weeks ago. I didn't want to put myself out there, but now I'm just like I don't care. Like I don't give a fuck. Whatever. Like if people don't. We were talking about this too. Like I was concerned. I can't believe, like, looking back, I was concerned about the freaking 10 people in my life that I actually know and care about. Like that circle of people. I was concerned about their thoughts and opinions of me if I started posting online. looking back, I'm like, dude, that's the dumbest thing ever to be worried
Yeah,
about, because
it is.
you're worried about such a small downside where the upside potential is so much more exponentially larger.
Yeah.
Like you're thinking about all the like the cons, where like the pros are just like outweigh the cons like drastically. So you have to like shift your thinking in that sense. And like you do have something valuable to offer, right? If you've done something, or you're currently in the middle of doing something,
Hmm.
you can document and show that process, and a lot of people will be interested in watching that. So
Yeah. I would really like that, Liam. And you said looking back, so I want to look forward here. And what's the bigger picture with Clearflow AI going forward? Obviously, you're scaling up, you're starting to hire and outsource. What's the big picture?
I think for us, like the big picture is we want to grow it. We look at it as like a stepping stone, right? So I personally want to use it as kind of that first sort of stepping stone into the business world, where I can accumulate like a decent amount of capital from this first business, and then look at it as like a vehicle in a sense to start investing in other industries, or investing in other businesses, right?
Mm.
So whether that's like starting a SaaS company in the future, or investing in real estate, or whatever, or both, like that's how I look at it. So I think there's so much skills, knowledge, experience that I'm learning right now that's going to be so helpful into my next ventures. So I plan on having multiple ventures in the
Yeah.
future. I'm not like a diehard like, oh, this is my Clearflow AI is like my baby, my
Yeah.
like my company that I started from nothing, and like I'm gonna see it all the way to the end. Like if there's an exit strategy, if someone wants to buy it, I'm like, yeah, sure. Like if they're offering me a good price, and
Yeah.
like cool, yeah, you can buy it for me. I'll start something else. Like that's what I how I look at it. So yeah, I plan to do multiple ventures in the future.
Well, it's funny you say that because Tyler and I are similar. Is we're not married to one idea. We're super open-minded in that
Mm.
way, and we're going to go
Yeah.
whichever avenue is going to make us money and the most money possible. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's I'm glad that both of you are talking about this, and we are, because I feel like a lot of young people struggle to figure out exactly what the one thing they want to do is. And I know I did as well. Like I've come up with 9 ideas. Me and Colton together have come up with 9 ideas in the last 2 years, how we're going to become millionaires. And then we don't do it. And a big thing for me and Colton, which we preach almost every episode, is like just starting anything and like doing something. Post one video about you talking about anything, or like you want to do an AI company, great, just do it. Like, save a few $100 and hire someone to make an agent for you, and just call some businesses, like just literally starting something and not worrying about you have to do it for 50 years. Like that's your life, because it's not that serious. Like you're going
Yeah.
to have this company, and then you're going to do something else, and then you're going to do something else again. Look at people, like look at billionaires, like the majority of them have done multiple businesses. Even to be specific, I saw this guy, and I don't know his name, on TikTok. The video was literally, hey, my name's John, and I've done 20 businesses before I became a millionaire. Here's all 20. And he literally went through, oh, I started this company and it failed. Here's why. And then I did this, and they're all different. And it just goes to show, like, you can do so many things in life. It's so short. Don't get caught up in one idea today and think that's your life. And even with content too, like you can pivot your content. Like you, Liam, if you're going to do AI for a while and then you pivot, like now you're Liam the business guy, you're not Liam the AI guy, right? And that's
Yeah.
fine, because
Yeah.
there's an appetite for everything. And I think people appreciate the storyline like longer term.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. Like you don't have to have everything planned out, right? Like you're
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like but you do have to be committed. Now there's a
Yeah.
difference between having like a plan and being committed, because one thing I do notice is that people are just kind of teetering with the idea of like, oh, I want to like start this AI thing, or I want to, start this thing, but I'm kind of like half committed to it. I'm still gonna, obviously if you have bills to pay, so I don't recommend quitting your job right away, but like
Yeah.
you should commit 100% to what you are doing,
Yeah.
because you're not gonna like it's not easy to start a business.
No.
Like Dude, you have like the hours, and like you have to make a lot of sacrifices. Like, no, you
You
can't
do.
go, you can't keep going to the bars with your buddies on the weekend, right? Like,
No.
you have to say no because you have work to do. You have
Yeah.
to say no a lot, right? So be committed to what you're doing, and like, I promise you, you'll learn and grow so much from it. And even if you do fail, this is another Alex Hormozy quote here. If you do fail, you never start from zero again because you've
No.
that skill gap you've now closed.
Hmm.
So you have all that knowledge and experience you've gained will put you're now that much further ahead when you go to start your next thing or you go to start your next business, right? You've acquired all that experience, so you won't make all those dumb little mistakes that you made when you started your first business. Your second business is going to start way quicker. It's going to grow way faster because you know exactly what to focus on, the high ROI activities,
Hmm.
and you're not going to focus on those tedious things that don't really move the needle, right?
Yeah, without a doubt, exactly. You learn so much just from starting and like committing to something. And yeah, like you said, I love the Alex Hormozy quotes. I know Colton likes Alex Hormozy a lot. I don't know if
Seems
he's.
like we're all in sync here, like
I was,
Robert Kiyosaki, Jeremy Miner, Alex Hermosi.
yeah,
I mean,
Well,
three Ps. You're
yeah.
gonna have to be a recurring guest on the podcast for sure, Liam. But
Oh, I'd be happy to. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we'll definitely do it again. Yeah, we usually try to keep the episodes like 30 to 45 minutes. We're kind of hitting that time. I feel like we did a good job kind of working through your career and everything, what's kind of led to you to this point, which has been really cool to hear your story. Really appreciate it. And I think we'll probably just close it out for now. And that way we have more material to talk about next time. I know we could go for like 8 hours right now, probably,
mhm.
but we've all got a lot of work to do today. And yeah, I just want to say
Yeah.
thanks a lot for getting on the podcast. I really appreciate it, Liam.
No, yeah, it's been a pleasure. I think I love what you guys are doing. I think it's really cool because we're all in the similar spot right now. We're all kind of starting out. We all
Yeah,
started out in this, in the similar time frame. So I think like people will appreciate that, like to see like us growing together. And yeah, I again I would love to come on again and keep in touch with you guys as you guys grow and progress and kind of
100%.
be able to share our wins with the
Yeah.
audience that's watching and be able to give knowledge and value,
Hmm.
as I'm sure people, especially the younger people who are watching this, would appreciate that, because they're getting a perspective that's more close to where they're at versus someone, there's a lot of people online who are in their 40s or 50s who have already made it and they're
Yeah.
giving you advice, but it's like they're so far away from that
Yeah.
point where it's like, what do I do tomorrow? Like, what are the things I should do now to focus on? Because I know nothing right now. Like I want to learn from someone who is where I was just 2 months ago,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that perspective will be very valuable especially for a younger audience. So
100%.
100%.
Appreciate you saying that. And
yeah.
yeah, thanks a lot. We'll definitely do it again.